Good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing today? Very much appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm Craig DeLuz. This is Coffee with Craig. Here we talk about firearms policy, pop culture, everything firearms or 2A related. We're talking about it here on Coffee with Craig. Please make it a point to like and share this video feed so that your friends can become our friends and join us in the conversation. Whether you're watching us on YouTube or you're watching us on Facebook, help us out. Help us be able to reach others. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. The more subscribers we have, then you get noticed as soon as we go live so you can participate in the conversation live. And if you haven't already done so, please follow us on Facebook and make sure to set the thing so that you get the notifications once again when we go live. Once again, so you can be a part of the conversation as it is happening. Also, want to remind you, FPC gear. Look, I realize, it's summertime. You guys are probably looking for some nice T-shirts to wear. Also want to share your support for the Second Amendment. We have some very, very cool new designs that are out there right now. So you can check these out. We got the Gadsden flag shirt. We got our ladies Gadsden flag T-shirts. Anyway, once again, some very cool designs, cool stuff. We're adding stuff. We're trying to add stuff every week. So even if you went last week, you probably want to go back because there's probably some new stuff that's there this week. And know that every dollar that you spend there goes back into the fight for our constitutional right to keep and bear arms. So please support the fight and get your T-shirts. All right, let's get into today's topic. California, we are now in the midst of our legislative battle. It is a busy, busy time right now here in the state of California legislatively. And so I wanted to take a minute and give you guys a bit of an update, kind of let you guys know where we're at, let you know what's going on legislatively here in the state of California. We've had a few victories, and we still have some fights that we're still having to fight. I'm gonna go down the list of stuff that we've got going on. For those of you may have heard last week, we were quite excited because we were successful in removing the 1 in 30 requirement out of SB 1100. That was a pretty big win, and I say was because they turned around and gut and amended another bill and put the 1 in 30 requirement into that bill. You probably saw our breaking news on Friday about that. Highly frustrating. It's interesting to me that these folks seem to think that they want us to take them and their laws seriously, but they don't even take their own rules seriously. It is beyond frustrating. But I don't have to tell you. You as a law-abiding gun owner here in the state, if you are in the state of California, you know what it's like trying to deal with these folks who just. They have no respect for the law. They think because they can, they should. And they believe the ends justifies the means, yada, yada, yada. So, once again, they have absolutely zero respect for the law or even just for rules or for common decency. Just because you have the ability to ignore your own rules doesn't mean that you should. All right, let's continue to take a look here. Couple of other things that are going on. AB 1927. This is a bill that would have allowed people to place themselves on a do not buy list. If you feel that you are in danger of harming yourself or others, you would be able to go online and have your name added to a list of people who are not able to buy guns. The problem was that there were absolutely positively no protections for individuals to keep someone else from going and putting your name on that list. Nothing whatsoever. It also, even though it didn't make it a state crime, it still would have made it a federal crime because they would have reported the person to NICS, meaning that if you went to purchase a firearm, even though it wouldn't have been a state crime, if you go by going to try and purchase something with your name in NICS being prohibited, you still would have been in trouble. So anyway, that measure we were able to get amended, and we also, by the way, got the Attorney General Javier Becerra to finally admit that they're not going to be enforcing the 1 in 30 handgun limitation for those who have a curio and relics license and a COE. This is something that the Department of Justice in California decided, well, we're going to change our interpretation, and we're just going to tell people, we're just going to notify dealers and tell them you can't sell more than one handgun a month to people who have Curio and Relics licenses, even though the law clearly states that, yeah, if you have a COE and a Curio and Relics license, then the 1 in 30 doesn't apply to you. But anyway, so we finally got them to admit that they're no longer going to be able to do that. Moving right along, we do have a few bills that are up and that we're still going to be fighting. We have Assembly Bill 2888, which is an expansion of gun violence restraining orders. These are the ex parte orders. Basically, they're where they go to court. Someone, your family member or law enforcement, can go to court, have your gun rights taken away. You don't even know this hearing is going on. They come, they take your guns, and then you get a hearing later to see if the restriction stays in place, where you're basically guilty until proven innocent. They want to expand that now to include coworkers, to include educators, people who are educated, who may be teaching you at your school or something like that. So basically, they want to expand it to a bunch of people you don't know, giving them the right and the ability to be able to take your gun rights. That bill is actually going to be up this week, so I'll be testifying on that bill tomorrow. We also have, where is it here? We also have a Skinner bill, Senate Bill 1200, which actually also expands gun violence restraining orders to include firearm parts. The problematic thing with this one is, so in other words, if you get a gun violence restraining order and they take all of your firearms, but let's say they leave a speed loader, or let's say they leave a trigger, they don't confiscate the trigger, and you are in possession of it, well, guess what? You will be in violation of your restraining order, and you could potentially go to jail. Really, really bad idea. But that bill is up. We also have Gibson's bill, his new ghost gun bill, which would require a background check for firearm parts, if you can believe that. Firearm parts. Now, they call them precursor parts. And I've talked with a couple of different dealers, a couple of different people who are firearm manufacturers. And I asked them, I said, what is a precursor part? And they said, a pre-what? Exactly, because there's no such thing as a precursor part. But Assemblyman Mike Gibson, who, loves to make stuff up, decided he's going to make up a term called precursor parts. And these precursor parts, which no one really knows what they are going to require background checks. And they're basing it on the very same system that they're utilizing, or they're planning to utilize, for ammunition background checks. The problem is that system isn't up and running. And we don't know if or how it's actually going to work, because the Department of Justice hasn't issued the regs on it yet. So we don't know how the process is going to work. But yet still, we're going to create a new system that is going to be based on a system that, well, we have absolutely no idea, once again, how it's going to work. Then we have Senate Bill 2221, which probably really only affects people there in the city of San Francisco. This is Senator Wiener's bill, which would ban the ability to do gun shows at the Cow Palace. This is like the fifth iteration they've tried of this particular idea. And keep in mind, this is a city that does not have a gun store. They've literally run out of business every single gun store. So there are no gun stores in the entire city of San Francisco. They've regulated them out of business. And now they want to say, well, we don't even want a gun show here. This is in the same facility that has hosted all sorts of weird events, from the erotic, exotic ball to marijuana or weed conventions, all sorts of things. But somehow, for some reason, the right to keep and bear arms offends them. And so, therefore, they don't want that taking place. So those are just those are just some of the ideas, a handful of the bills that are still out there, that are still moving along. just want to remind you guys, we're going to be starting up doing Battle of the Day again. So when you guys get those notices, when you see those things come across in the afternoons about the Battle of the Day, please do us a favor. Take a moment, either make the phone call or send the email, whatever it is that we're asking you to do. It's not going to take that long. We're going to ask you to do it, though, because the more they hear from us, and I know you guys don't think so, but I know that when they hear from us, when they hear from you, they call us. Because they want, first of all, they want it to stop. But it gives us an opportunity to talk to them. We don't, FPC, I'm not your typical lobbyist. You're not going to see me at these fundraisers for these guys. You're not going to, we're not writing checks for politicians. We don't have that kind of money. Our job is this. We shine a light on what they do. We shine a light on it and we tell you guys about it. And with that, we let you guys then vote accordingly, take action accordingly, whether it's you support that candidate financially, whether you support them with your vote, whatever you decide to do, however you decide, or you vote against them, or you contribute against them, whatever it is. Our whole goal is to help facilitate the democratic process when it comes to the Second Amendment. We want to make sure you guys know what they're doing so that you know exactly what you need to do in order to make sure that your rights are duly protected. Anyway, folks, that's going to be it for today's Coffee with Craig. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know it wasn't necessarily a fun discussion today, but hey, we got to handle business because it's that time of year. So I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys. Please remember, tune in every weekday, Monday through Friday, with Coffee with Craig. Please remember, join FPC, joinfpc.org. It doesn't cost that much money. It help us in the fight. Go to FPC Gear, buy our gear. Help us, help you fight for our right to keep and bear arms. Anyway, you folks, take care. Stay safe. Stay free.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.